Live Sunday Service, episode number 61, coming right at you. Hot off of UFC Vancouver last night. RDR goes in there, has a great round one. Brendan Allen all of a sudden becomes Canadian and just takes over the fight, gets it done in the main event. Big upset. Not a lot of people were giving Brendan Allen much of a chance to win that fight. In all honesty, it wasn't really like he did that much to win the fight. Obviously, he stayed in the fight, and we could talk more about the main event. Co-main event, a lot of weird stuff going on. Kevin Holland fight, gets hit in the nuts. Should he have continued? That's up to him. Ultimately, they did continue the fight. No point was taken. Another one for Canada, where the point should have been taken. It probably should have been a draw. We could talk about that. We also had Amin Zahabi, Marlon Chito Vera. Once again, Chito Vera just disappointing everybody. Just waiting, still waiting for Chito Vera to, do something to try to win a fight. Still waiting for that. Manon Fiorot, round one KO. Who saw that one coming? Not me. Not me. I thought, that fight could be played out 99 times going to a decision out of 100. But that was a round one beautiful knockout by Manon Fiorot. Jasmine Jasdavicius. Hate to see it, man. Hate to see it. She was on such a nice winning streak in her home country. Biggest fight of her life, and she gets bonked in round one. And she's, 36 years of age? It's not like she's going to be able to really claw her way back to a title shot, especially with Zhang Weili going in up to 125 now, and that just clogs it up a little bit more. Some interesting outcomes last night. There was a lot of underdogs that came through. I felt like there was going to be a good amount of underdogs that come through. I did manage to get a couple of them, but a couple of them were not super shocking, but also just the way that they got it done, how easily they got it done was kind of shocking to me. So we're fresh off of UFC Vancouver. We're going to go over some of that, and then we can also talk about the big pay-per-view next week, Big Tommy Aspinall. There's a lot of hype on Big Tommy, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried because all the whole Tom Aspinall, John Jones thing, everyone within the MMA community that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about is saying that John Jones was scared to fight Tom Aspinall. But if Tom Aspinall loses on Saturday, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good, and I really hope that does not happen because I, as well as many people, have talked a lot about how Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight on planet Earth and that John Jones was ducking him. So if he loses on Saturday, it's not going to be good, boys. It's not going to be good. We also got strawweight title. Mackenzie Dern. Who would have thought Mackenzie Dern would be fighting for a title? But she is against the girl that she's already beaten in Virna Jandiroba. I actually think that's an interesting fight. I'm a big Virna Jandiroba fan, so maybe I might be a little bit biased, but I'm interested in that one. We also got Umar Nurmagomedov, the return after his first loss. See if he can bounce back. Probably going to bounce back because it's a Nurmagomedov in Abu Dhabi. They ain't going to lose in Abu Dhabi, so I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get that one done. Also got some big fights as far as, a number one contender, heavyweight division, Volkov versus Almeida. Excited for that one. Light heavyweight bout, Rakic and Mirzakhanov. That's the whole main card. I think that's a really solid main card for Saturday. So I'm going to hit these chats, see what you guys want to talk about, because that's what we do here on the Sunday Service. We'll go over some stuff, but I like to just talk with the chat and see, what's going on in the mind of the people. And if there's any takes, I'm going to ditch this in because otherwise I might spit it out at you. But Olajuwon Dream was in the chat earlier. Appreciate you for joining up early, Mr. Olajuwon Dream. Can't believe he was on the verge of a title shot and your corner got to throw him the title. Yeah, that's why the title of this live stream is that the Ritter embarrassed the entire middleweight division. He embarrassed the entire middleweight division. Rainier to quitter. Wow. Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Ritter, that he quit like that, it's not good. It's a really bad look. But it's also the fact that he only had about one round of cardio. He had one good round, and then after that, he was just kind of on bottom playing guard. And Brendan Allen wasn't really punching his face in either. He landed some decent ground and pound shots, and it wasn't like they were just scrambling a ton. It was pretty clear to me that there had to be something wrong with RDR. Had to be something wrong with RDR. How do you go 5 rounds with Whitaker and win the last 2 rounds of the fight, the championship rounds, against the guy in Whitaker who's extremely seasoned in 5-round fights, you beat him in round 4 and round 5, and that's how you win the fight. But then you fight Brendan Allen, who has a history of slowing down as fight goes on, against Nasruddin Mavov, against Anthony Hernandez. He just had 1 round of cardio. So I don't know if this guy was sick, if he was injured, what was going on, but it was very clear he was not able to do anything after round 1. He completely gassed out, and that was the fight. There was like no coming back from that. After round 1 ended, there was nothing left. He couldn't really do anything. And Brendan Allen did exactly what he needed to do to get his hand raised. I would have liked to seen a little more urgency, though, from Brendan Allen. Like, it's pretty clear that RDR doesn't have any gas tank left, and you're just content with sitting in his guard, not really pushing for a finish. He honestly could have just let him up and tried to TKO him on the feet. He probably could have, but he just stayed in his guard. And honestly, like, do you give Brendan Allen like a big shot after that fight? I don't know. After that performance, pretty underwhelming main event, you probably don't. Hurt the purse yesterday for sure. Depends what you bet on, bro. RDQ must have been injured or sick at the bare minimum. No, it has to be, dude. Has to be. That's the thing. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't make sense. I did see some account on Twitter that I think is impersonating RDR, saying that he was sick with like norovirus. I'm pretty sure that's fake. Who would you like to see Allen fight next? It's tough because you can't really fight Fluffy. He just literally fought him and lost to him. Can't fight Imavov. Imavov is probably in line for a title. He already lost to Imavov. I guess you could go Allen. You could go like Allen Strickland or Allen versus Duplessis. I think that would actually make the most sense. I think you do Brendan Allen versus Dricus Duplessis. Dricus Duplessis and Brendan Allen have had beef for a good amount of time. Brendan Allen always talks shit about him. He just beat the Walmart version of DDP. So I think that makes the most sense, actually. Brendan Allen versus DDP. That makes perfect sense. Book it. Rainer inherited Bo Nichols' quitting mentality. Yeah. That's just such a weird way to go out, man. You're literally 1 fight away from a title shot. You're definitely going to lose the fight. And I understand why his corner threw in the towel. It's like, okay, you're going to throw him back out there in round 5, basically to get beat up. He has nothing left in the tank. He's not going to win the fight. He's already down 3 rounds to 1. He's not going to win the 5th because he has nothing left. So I guess I understand why they threw in the towel, but as a image of a fighter that should be championship material, or at least that you want to put out there as championship material, you can't throw in the towel. Once you start throwing in the towel, that means you're willing to, look other directions in your career. There's no champion that has thrown in the towel and then gone on to be a champion after they've had majority of their career played out. It just doesn't happen. So that's a bad look, but I understand why they threw in the towel. I went 10-3 and 3 perfect winning on Tapology contest for UFC Vancouver. Congratulations, brother. I think I went 8-5 or 9-4 on picks. I don't know. Honestly, there was not many confident picks from me, but I actually didn't do that bad. Took the Ritter -9.5 for oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough, bro. Hey, you're gonna lose it either way. But at least you didn't pay his money line. You probably got a better odds than his money line. We had the Bruno Allen KO parlay. We were eating steak for Dinden. Bruno Allen. If you're talking Bruno Silva got the sub. Yeah, he got the sub. You didn't get the KO. Maybe you had him KO or sub. Told you, bro. Yeah, I mean, 4-5 decision, Allen TKO decision. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely wrong on that one, dude. But it just doesn't make any sense. And sometimes that's how MMA goes. Like, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Once you've been doing it for a good amount of time. Like, there are some fights that just don't make any sense. Like, tell me how that made any sense. Where Brendan Allen is the guy that is way fresher coming in on short notice, when RDR has been training for that date. He just went 5 rounds with Robert Whittaker and looked good late in the fight. How does that make any sense? Sometimes MMA just doesn't make sense. I feel RDR's corner did the right thing in throwing the towel. RDR would have just got hurt even worse and maybe permanent damage. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but I kind of agree. Can we talk about Dana White Contender Series for a bit, though? The featherweight prospects that came out of the show this season are ones to look out for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the featherweights, dude. Contender Series featherweights. They don't really come to mind when we're thinking weight class, but there were a good amount of prospects on Contender Series that I think, given the right circumstances, could do some dangerous stuff in the UFC. There was a couple guys that were like ready to compete right away. But there are also some guys that are really young, just super talented, that they probably need to match up fairly lightly for a little bit. Give them some experience. Gee, I wonder why they're giving Dern the title shot. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, it was like yesterday. But I'm like, dude, Mackenzie Dern fights in Abu Dhabi like all the time, it seems like. It seems to me like whoever's running the Abu Dhabi promotion, or whoever's head at the UFC over in Abu Dhabi, is like making sure that Abu Dhabi gets Mackenzie Dern. You know, they're like, you know what? If we're going to have women's MMA in Abu Dhabi, they better at least be fucking hot, right? They got to give us Mackenzie Dern. They got to give us Jacqueline Amarim. Like, if they're going to fight, if Verna Jandiroba is going to fight for the title, at least the other half's got to be Mackenzie Dern, right? It's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny. You see they dropped the DFS lines for the weekend already. I did see that, but I'm going to take a look, but I'm not going to lock anything in, dude. Not going to lock anything in. There's no point in going after her right now because there's only one option that has the lines open. A point was taken from Dober, but a point wasn't taken from a lot for the same severe foul. Canadian hometown advantages on full display. 100%, dude. Like, I understand why the ref took a point away from Dober. I mean, the nut shot was pretty bad. And in a 1-to-1 fight, like, you're probably going to need to take a point there because it was a competitive fight. You just kicked him in the nuts. He's definitely not going to be the same. And you just had 5 minutes to recover while this guy's holding his nuts, like trying to get his wits about him. So I understand why you take a point. But then how are you not going to do that in Malott versus Kevin Holland? Like, obviously, Kevin Holland was messed up from the nut shot, took the full 5 minutes, and it was the second one within the like a minute or two span, and the ref didn't take a point from Mike Malott in round one. It just doesn't make sense. You know, Dan Murgliata even told Kevin Holland after round one had ended and they're trying to start round two, and they bring in the doctor, and the doctor's trying to ask Kevin if he's okay, and Kevin's not giving him anything. He's not telling him anything. I don't know why. But then the doctor's like, you're going to have to, like, you know, keep an eye on him. And Dan's like, we're either going to have to continue this, or you're going to lose by DQ. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Kevin just got kneed in the nuts the last round. You didn't take a point, and now you're telling him if he can't continue, he's going to lose by DQ? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? It was very clear that Mr. Canada, Mike Malott, got a little bit of a save there from Dan Murgliata, because it was a 29-28 fight that if he took a point, it's a draw. Then he probably doesn't get the second half of his win money, and he gets a draw against Kevin Holland. What does that do for your career? Definitely doesn't keep you moving up the rankings, I can tell you that. So Mike Malott better be throwing Dan Murgliata a few bucks for helping him out and giving him that win last night. Mario Batista plus 410 is stupid, no matter how good Nurmagomedov is. You know what? The tasteful thickness, I would 100% agree with you. Mario Batista at plus 410 is stupid because he's a good all-around fighter. He's got good striking, great cardio. solid defensive wrestling, solid offensive wrestling. And Umar, I don't think is the biggest finisher, but he knows how to win rounds. And I think he's an elite striker. I think he's a good wrestler as well. And you're not going to really take down Umar and control him on the ground. So I think it could play out fairly close, but come on, man. There's no chance in hell that the judges in Abu Dhabi are going to let Umar Nurmagomedov lose. If Mario Batista goes out there and 30-27s him, somehow it'll still be a 29-28 Umar Nurmagomedov. It's just how it works, dude. All right. You're not going to lose in Dubai and Abu Dhabi if you have an OV in the last two letters of your name. It's just not going to work. So Mario Batista's going to literally have to leave that man out cold on the canvas to the point where he can't respond to win. And I don't think he's going to do that. And even if he does, we've seen the past couple of weeks, the referee has been pretty bad because there's been like 2 TKOs and a submission win in round 1 that they just continued the fight on. Doesn't make sense, man. Kevin Holland out for the year. Well, there's only 2 months left. So it sounds about right for Kevin. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he comes back December. Who knows? Aspinall's not losing to Gane. I could see that. I hope he does. I hope he does win. I really hope he does. I got crazy lucky last night. Bet Nelson's fight to go the distance, which it didn't, even though the ref stopped it. I bet Manon's fight to end via finish, and bet, oh my God, dude, you better go buy a lotto ticket because that is unbelievably lucky. Didn't make that much because I didn't bet a whole lot of money. It's all right. A win's a win, bro. A win's a win. Can we talk about that, though? All right. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, a referee has stopped the fight in round 1. The fight was over in round 1. He called the fight off. It's over. Wave the hands over. It's done. Stop the fight before, the clock runs out. It's done. And somehow, some way, those fights continued. UFC Perth. Jake Matthews gets a submission in round 1. The fight's over. Nope. They started round 2, goes into round 3. Neil Magny wins in round 3. Joel Alvarez, Vicente Luque. Joel Alvarez hits him in the eye with a punch, a legal punch. Vicente Luque, they stop the fight. He says it hits him in the eye, and the ref waves off the fight. The fight's over. It was a legal punch. He waves off the fight. It's done. But no, then he brings in the doctor, gives Vicente Luque time to recover. They restart the fight. The fight goes on, second and third, goes to decision. Joel Alvarez wins the decision. This past week, UFC Canada, Kyle Nelson knocks out Matt Frivola in round 1, ground and pounds him out. The fight's over. Dan Miragliotta steps in. It's done. 2 seconds left on the clock. The ref steps in. It's over. But wait. He thought the round was over. No. You stopped the fight with 2 seconds left. Matt Frivola was damn near unconscious. Kyle Nelson thinks he's got a KO win in round 1. Nope, fight continues. Goes to round 2, goes to round 3. It's a decision. How does this happen? How is this happening in MMA referee? In what other sport do we see 3 weeks out of the last 4 weeks where there's the same error every single time? How could we make this right? All right. In any other sport, they can go up to the booth. They can call up to the booth. Let's review that and make sure we get it right. But why in UFC can they not just have one other referee sitting cage side looking at a monitor being like, no, actually the right call of what we should do is end this fight because you ended it. That was a legal punch. He couldn't continue. You stopped the fight. The fight is over. You stopped the fight with 2 seconds left via TKO. The fight is over. You stopped the fight because you thought he submitted him in round 1. The fight is over. How can you just continue the fight after that? It doesn't make sense. In what other sport do we have this amount of fuckery on a week-to-week basis? A week-to-week basis, man. The past 2 weeks, somebody has literally won the fight by round 1 knockout and then gone on to win the fight by decision. Not only by decision, by unanimous decision. So they knock him out in round 1, fight's over, goes to decision, they win by unanimous decision. How does this work, dude? This is ridiculous. This is why this sport can be so frustrating at times, because the low level shit that we have to deal with as fans, as bettors, it should not be happening. It should not be happening. I seen Taporia versus Patty in the works for Paramount Plus in January. Have you seen this news? Is it true? I did see Patty said something about it, but I'll believe it when I see it, bro. RDR and Allen switched bodies. That fight was so weird. It really was, dude. It was. Ritter didn't actually quit. He was literally exhausted. He was peeling himself off the canvas for 2 rounds straight, mid-30s weight cut that many times in 9 months. Yeah, I could see that, dude. I think the activity for RDR definitely could have caught up to him there. I hate that he quit because I had Allen. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Give him a fun and winnable fight. Patty, if he fights Taporia, yeah. He already came out and said he is yeah, no, that's fake, dude. I think that's a fake account. Allen versus DDP makes the most sense. 100%, dude. 100%. Book it, dude. RDR posted, yeah, I don't think that's him, dude. I don't think that's him. 100%. Curtis Campbell, Jose Delano, but Rahiki, Mini Stylebender, and Larian Douglas, yeah, especially the featherweight prospects from this season's Dana White Contender Series look very promising. Those are some very good prospects. Those are 4 guys that I remember watching. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are good. Absolutely. Smash the like button. Shout out to my man Dan. Rainier the Quitter. Fluffy's nickname would have been changed to Diddy if he got his hands on RDQ yesterday. For real. That would have been he would have taken a lot worse damage if he fought Fluffy. Tell me if you agree. Holland continuing the fight after the 5-minute allotted time and then needing medical attention for the same issue should be a TKO. If he couldn't go, shouldn't resume fighting. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Kevin wanted somebody to just call the fight for him because he wasn't saying shit. He wasn't saying shit, and I don't know, man. Like Kevin's just a weird character. You know, if you've been hitting the nuts, we all have at some point in our life. I mean, the last thing that I'm trying to do if I got hit in the nuts is like jostle my nuts around like he was doing. If I got hit in the nuts, I'm usually on the ground, like in the fetal position, like trying to get some decent feeling back in my stomach. I'm not like jostling my cup around like that. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Interesting way to go about it. But they were trying to get an answer from Kevin, and Kevin like wasn't saying anything. I think he just wanted somebody to make the call for him, which I can understand. You're a fighter. You don't want to take yourself out of the fight and potentially lose half of your pay because the fight's not going to get settled. But you also don't want to go out there and be compromised because you got hit in the nuts from an illegal shot. So I think you wanted somebody else to make the call. That's why he wasn't saying anything. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it should have just been a point taken. If they would have told him, okay, there's a point taken, I feel like he would have been more willing to just continue. Be like, okay, I got the point. But maybe, who knows? I mean, it's Kevin Holland. He doesn't even fucking care if he wins nowadays. So it's just a weird way. Considering RDR is 36 and went out like that, do you think he'll still be able to crawl himself into a title shot or even a number 1 contender fight now? No. I think he'll have some fun fights, but that was it, dude. That was it. Went 7 out of 8. To win 1,700 in the last leg was RDR. Oh, God. Should have hedged a little bit. I had a parlay with RDR, just one of the long shots I put in while I'm at the sports book. Last week was RDR, and after round 1, I hedged out. I hedged out on Brendan Allen live as a pick'em because I was like, yeah, this isn't looking good. Why is there a trend of fighters now? Every time they lose, there's always a damn excuse. Can't help but lose. Respect for fighters with this mentality. I mean, I understand it, dude. Like, it's such a raw sport. It's literally just you. if you lose in a fist fight, in a UFC fight, just for that, if you lose in a UFC fight to a guy that you feel like you should have beat and you feel like you weren't at 100%, of course you're going to make that known. Why wouldn't you make that known? Be like, nah, this guy isn't better than me. The only reason he beat me was because of X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it is true. Sometimes it's true, dude. Like, we literally saw that with Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev. Alex Pereira claims he was only at 40% against Ankalaev, and some people believe him. Some people don't. Most people are not going to believe fighters' excuses, but there is some truth to their excuses. Like, they are excuses at the end of the day, but if they run it back, maybe those excuses were valid. So I understand if you're going to make excuses, but only make excuses if they're actually true, for one. For two, only make excuses if you're willing to, like, if it makes sense. Like, in some cases, a fighter will make an excuse, but if the excuse that they made gets turned around where it gets fixed, nobody else sees a different outcome, then just don't fucking say it. Like, you go in there, you get fucking destroyed, right? You go in there, you get destroyed. You get KO'd real quick. Like, it's just, some excuses are better than others, what I'm trying to say. Mackenzo Dern fight should be on the early prelims. That's crazy, bro. Title fight, bro. Ed Santos decision, Brendan Allen moneyline, and Kevin Holland crazy beat. Yeah, man, that's, at least you could have got a draw if they took a point. Allen surprised me because we know he's good, but every time he's gotten a bigger fight, he shit the bed. 100%. And how the fuck did Brendan Allen just magically become Canadian? Brendan Allen is from Louisiana. He trained in Florida for the longest time. He's always repped the American flag. But all of a sudden, he's a main event in Vancouver, and he's rocking the Canadian flag. Like, as an American, I'm like, bro, what? It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. I don't care if your grandparents are from Canada. You know, if my grandparents are from fucking Italy, I'm not going to rock the Italian flag. I was born in America. I've repped the American flag forever. Now, because I'm fighting in that country, I'm going to rep their flag. Kind of weak sauce, dude. Kind of weak. RDR sold the lay. Oh, yeah, he sold a lot of lays, I bet you. You should start your own company instead of working for a guy who has horrible picks. I mean, I'm the guy that runs the picks. So I'm the guy that runs the picks. Maddie's picks are free. Mine are not. Usually it's Alan gassing. Yeah, 100%. At RDR, Def made sense. Did you see how he gassed? He was in how gassed he was in the Nico fight. Immediately he put money on Allen at plus money when it went live. Flew KO against a 3-6 GM3. Nah. I was up all night. Is it fair to say Whitaker is more likely to fight GM3 than ever fighting for the belt again? I would say yes and no, but I think it's more likely for Whitaker to retire than to be fighting GM3 or fight for the belt again. Yeah, that was the biggest eye opener for me watching that fight between RDR and Brendan Allen. It's like, how washed is Robert Whitaker, man? How fucking washed is Robert Whitaker? If he's losing to RDR and losing the championship rounds to RDR, how fucking washed is Whitaker? When Whitaker had one round for Brendan Allen. That's a bad look. There's no shame in picking minus 280 favorite. RDR versus Brendan Allen. RDR is an anomaly. All right. Would you ever consider starting your own company instead of working for someone else? You're way more talented. I mean, I am part owner in the company, brother. I don't work for anybody. I'm a self-employed. And Whitaker is post broken jaw now, and he still almost finished RDR. Exactly. I'm mad I didn't play Dern at plus 110. Now it's minus 160. Well, let me tell you something here, Elijah One. All right. you hold your horses. Or maybe you can go bet Mackenzie Dern because Vernon Jandiroba's a plus 140 dog. Your boy might have to get involved on Chiwiwi's Rosas Jr. to get it done on Saturday. I might have to get involved. Told you about me winning that tournament and going 10-3 because I bounced my final picks on yours. You helped me win that tournament. Well, good to hear. Good to hear, Daniels Forest 550. Glad you won. Whoever chose RDR to win is a retard. He has injuries from Rob fight that haven't been resolved. Has had like 6 fights in 1 year and was getting hit hard with GM3. Well, guess I'm a retard then for not knowing that he has injuries. And yeah, just going off of potential injuries, I guess. I was up all night watching Nazareth highlights. Buddy is definitely going to put some pressure on this guy. Quillen can get a late round KO. Could even get a late round KO. Yeah, I could see that. Quillen was kind of getting pieced up in round 3 against, what was it, Ashmoose? I think it was Ashmoose. Melissa Croton, TKO, Charles Jourdain, sub parlay, smacked hard as fuck. I also gave you that one on the Long Shot Live. Did you? If you did, you have to send us a timestamp because if you gave that on the Long Shots Live, we gotta clip that up, bro. Gotta clip that up. Good hits though. The hooks, Malott tends to get knockdowns with look robotic. Is it just me? It is a bit stiff, but that's just because it's like sharp. It's not loopy at all. It does look robotic, but it is sharp. I will say that. I literally run my own thing, bro. Stop messing with Maddie, dude. Like, just let him be. I was surprised they didn't take a point on Malott. Same scenario. I was there live. The crowd didn't like Murgliata. Yeah. They didn't. They really didn't. Fuck Dan. He got saved by that motherfucker in the blue suite. I was pissed. Blue suit. Good shit, bro. If Dan Hooker beats Armin somehow, who would they give the title shot to? Him, Gaethje, Oliveira rematch, or Patty? Or would they do a title eliminator? They're going to give it to either Gaethje or Patty. 100%. I don't think Dan Hooker versus Armin Tsarukyan really has that much influence on what they do for the title next, to be honest. Fluffy pulled out because he was injured, but depending on what his injury was, do you think he probably could have? Yeah, he probably could have. He probably could have beat RDR still injured. Kind of want to take a shot on Volkov plus 150. I kind of agree, but it's going to be a sweaty round 1, 100%. Just rolled a blunt in a maple leaf. Thanks to Mike Malott saving my night last night. Hey, you better thank Dan Murgliata, Ryan, because you're lucky you didn't take a point for that nut shot. Also, Midchenko is featured prelim worthy at best. Both their last wins. Only made that take on the Malott TKO because we can't keep stopping the fight for a foul. You've already been given the allotted time. Yeah, I agree. Should have just called it a no contest after the foul. I agree. Yeah, they really should have. Because then, yeah, I would agree with that. There's just so much gray area in this shit. It's like a fucking clown show, I swear. Every Saturday, it's like, well, what is it going to be this time? You know, what kind of fuckery are we going to have to watch? What kind of fuckery are we going to deal with where there's millions of dollars bet on every single fight? Just doesn't make sense. We got 2 locks for the card. For 2/13, any others than Aspinall and Umar? I think Amaram's pretty safe. Maxim's probably pretty safe. Maybe Walter, but he does kind of sketch me a little bit. Picks Insider, what up, bro? You know for a fact there's a Saudi oil billionaire that requested Amanda Hebos fight in Abu Dhabi. When she got fucked up by Ricci, she needed facial reconstruction after that. It's 100% happening with Dern. Yeah, I mean, somebody definitely requested Mackenzie Dern there. I can tell you that. All women's MMA fights last night ended via stoppage. I wonder what the odds of that are. Well, I'm gonna on one up you here, John Dong. For the first 3 fights, all ended in round 3. That is insane. Rarely do fights ever end in round 3. That's why the odds are so big for it to end in round 3, because you got to go 10 full minutes and then you have a 5-minute window. But the first 3 fights ended in round 3, and 5 of the 7. Yeah, 5 of the 7 prelims ended in round 3. That is fucking nuts, dude. I don't think I've ever seen that. Like, if you were playing round 3 finishes on the prelims, you were cashing tickets, boys. Like, big tickets. Just glad women's MMA is barefoot. That's disgusting. Let's go Blue Jays. All right. Let's go Blue Jays, I guess. 3-4 weeks is crazy because I can't remember a time it's happened prior. Yeah, and it is fucking disgusting. Dan is a legend, but at this time, he's always doing dumb shit. Doing a lot of dumb shit. And it was very clear, though, because Favola versus Nelson, he didn't call the fight when he stopped the fight. He stopped the fight with 2 seconds left. Should have been a KO for Kyle Nelson, but then he let it continue. And then a few fights later, he's the ref for Mike Malott versus Kevin Holland, and the Canadian fans are booing Dan Murgliata because they know he was the guy that stopped the fight for Kyle Nelson, but then let it continue. So then it was very clear that the Canadian fan base had some sort of influence on Dan Murgliata's decision to not take a point from Mike Malott because he didn't want to get booed. So that's a home field advantage for one. For two, Dan Murgliata, you're fucking up left and right. Get your shit together, bro. Hayden, need I remind you, all the refs are over 45 to 60 years old. Yeah. What's the point there, though? Baller needs to be cut. Yeah, for real. For real. He needs to get it all layup, dude. I was front row last night and had a blast. One of the best fight nights of my life. I made money, but RDR sold my bag. Hey, as long as you made a little bit of money and you had fun, bro. As long as you had some fun. Fluffy would get to finish on the feet. Yeah. Is UFC rigged now? And please cook for the comeback. It's going to be real this Saturday with DFS. Yeah, I mean, the crazy part is we didn't even lose any money on DFS. We broke even, but I guess that's a comeback nowadays. But no, it's not rigged. I mean, I don't think it's rigged. I just think it's the Wild West, dude. Like, you're dealing with some random ass shit all the time. Random ass shit. Whether that shit is calculated, who knows? But Buddy tried pulling that Johnny Walker in Canada. Yeah. I would make Fluffy versus DDP and Izzy versus Allen. Is Adesanya even going to fucking fight again, dude? I feel like he's basically retired. Han would have been fine with the fight being called, but he wasn't going to say it. DeRitter versus Han next. They literally fought this year. Like this year, literally this fucking year. Early. Was it January? I think it was January. He subbed him. Do I believe Tom by sub is a lock? Definitely not. Definitely not a lock because he could KO him. But I would want to see what the odds are going to be. And Gon could fucking win, dude. That's what fucking scares me. That's what scares me, dude. Like, everyone's saying, okay, do you believe Tom by sub is a lock? Okay, I think Tom Aspinall is a generational talent. And he has a lot of hype around him because John Jones literally retired because Tom Aspinall was the only guy that the UFC was going to let him fight. So he retired John Jones without fighting him. So now there's all this hype around Tom Aspinall. But we don't know much about Tom Aspinall. All we know is that this dude is a beast at finishing dudes within the first 2 minutes of the fight. He's only had like 16 minutes or so in the cage. We don't know what he's going to look like in round 3, 4, 5, because Cyril Gane's not a guy that's an easy out. He's not really an easy out. If Tom Aspinall can't knock him out or submit him within the first round, like, what does he look like after that? We don't know. So there's all this hype around Tom Aspinall, and I think it's true. I think it is valid, and I think he does go in there and finish Cyril Gane. But there's a lot of pressure on him. There's definitely a lot of pressure on him. So I just hope it doesn't blow up in his face, man. Strickland should face RDR or Whitaker. I think Strickland Whitaker makes sense. RDR is probably going to have to take a little bit of time off, especially if he is injured. Fraud checked at his finest. I posted 7 days ago when Holland, Allen, and Santos, and then Holland does that. Yeah, that's brutal. I wish I did that. I'm an idiot. I did not hedge and would have made $1,000. I watched the corner. Oh, God, dude. That's even more worse. Corner throws in the towel. You lose that way. It's terrible. I have Umar Moneyline and Aspinall ITD. Please tell me it's a lock. I mean, I think it probably hits, bro. Jai Jr. with the 799A. I don't know what currency that is, but I appreciate the dono, my brother. Don't know why everyone thought RDR would run through Allen. Styles make fights. Allen got a great ground game to prevent the subs and also way better stand-up. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but did anyone see RDR gassing after one round? Like, that wasn't predictable whatsoever, especially when he was coming off a 5-round fight where he won the last 2 rounds of a 5-round fight. I didn't think Allen would like be easy to submit on the ground. I just thought RDR would be able to win positions, and then on the feet, it would just be a lot of clinching. Like RDR would use his clinch, but can't do that when you're fucking gassed, you know? RDR versus DDP would be the fight of the frauds. Just how bad are the middleweights? Is he a paper champ? Exactly. Dude, just think about that, right? The middleweight division is like at an all-time low. An all-time low. I mean, Dricus Du Plessis just lost 50-45, maybe 50-43, maybe 50-41 on a lot of judges' scorecards against Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus Du Plessis beat Sean Strickland twice, finished Israel Adesanya, and then Khamzat Chimaev comes in and wins the fight with ease. And then RDR is on the verge of a title shot, and he gasses out within 1 round in the corner, throws the towel in to stop the fight. And Robert Whitaker, the guy that Israel Adesanya beat, Robert Whitaker, who is supposed to be like the best guy outside of Israel Adesanya in their generation, RDR beat Robert Whitaker the fight before he gassed out after 1 round and his corner threw the towel in. How bad do the middleweights look right now? Pretty fucking bad, right? And then you got Nasruddin Imavov, who's, I guess, the number 1 contender right now after beating Kyle Bahalio. Well, Nasruddin Imavov lost to Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland lost to Dricus Du Plessis twice, and Dricus Du Plessis just got 50-43 by Khamzat Chimaev, who's the champion. Middleweights look fucking awful. Who's good in middleweight right now? We don't even fucking know. We don't know. I guess just Chimaev. Like, look, this is terrible. What's going on, brother? Sorry, I hopped on late. Pretty sure we went over the Rainer to quitter already. We did. We gave him his little schmacking. At this point, the UFC, nothing surprised me. Yeah, I mean, everything. I think that, but then something always does. I agree. I picked RDR, but I bet the fight to go past 3.5 rounds because Allen has the BJJ to defend. I was considering playing the over, but I thought Allen would be dangerous early on. Anyone disagree with the Zahabi decision? We could talk about that. I didn't really disagree with it. I thought it was a 50-50. It really just comes down to round 1. But how fucking... How annoying is Cheeto Vera? Of course he's going to go on Twitter after the fight and say that he got robbed in Canada. Buddy, how many fights is it going to take you to realize that you could do more than you're doing in the octagon. Every single fucking fight, it goes down to a close decision or a decision where you just did a little bit less than your opponent. Or if you face somebody good, you're just going to get, walked like Sean O'Malley did to you, like Corey Sandhagen did to you. But when you're fighting, the Davis Figueiredos of the world, where you could just turn it up a little bit more and you probably win the fight, or even Amin fucking Zahabi, just do a little bit more, buddy. And I think you probably get your hand raised, but he refused to. He just refuses. He had him hurt in round 2, and Zahabi's like not throwing anything at him, not throwing any offense. After Chito Vera drops him, Zahabi didn't throw a single strike for about 2 minutes. And how many strikes did Chito throw? Maybe a handful. It's like, dude, you literally just hurt this guy. Go fucking get him. He's not throwing anything back. And he does nothing. And then it's like, okay, it could be 2-0 for you. Maybe it's 1-1. Go ahead and win the third round against Zahabi. You just hurt him in the previous round. It's pretty clear he can't hurt you. You're the guy that can hurt him. And what does he do? Fucking nothing. Like, how does this guy do the same shit over and over again and expect a different result? It's like, no, you did the same shit that you've done your entire career, which is not do enough to win the fight, when it's pretty clear that you could do more and you probably win. But then he just goes on X and says that he gets robbed. You can't help that, man. You just can't help that. It's got to be personal. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I got to do more. It's ridiculous. He fucked up bad. As a Canadian, I thought it was a cringe that Allen repped the flag. Exactly. It's just fucking weird. Zahabi didn't win that fight. I mean, I don't think either guy really won it, to be honest. We hear what you're saying with the whispering eye. What's the whispering eye? I'm not too keen on those things, dude. I'm sorry. Allen said, I think his mom is Canadian, so he decided to rep him for this fight. So weird, though, because he has Louisiana tatted on his back. Exactly. What up, bro? Hate to say it, but I knew RDR was screwed the moment I saw Bilal in Allen's corner. True, that does help. How do you know Matty was the guy with the terrible picks? Because he said it in the thing. I hate RDR. He robbed a bag from me. I was roasting his ass. He definitely heard me. Hayden, I wish I could call in to help you out of retarded takes. All right. Why don't you just start your own channel? If you have the perfect take for every fight? Why not? Allen versus Strickland is definitely next. Any tips on doing film study? I have Fight Pass, and it sucks that they don't have a ton of recent fights on there. Where should I go to watch fights? Yeah, I would really love it if Fight Pass had all the fights, especially the recent ones, but they don't. So you got to go to this website. It's called watchmmafull.com, and it's terrible, but that they have the fights on there. You're going to have to deal with so many ads, and honestly, I think my computer has some crazy viruses from it, but I don't really go on there too much anymore. I really don't. But watchmmafull.com. If Fluffy did not drop out, I would have made a bag last night. True. Hey Job makes a bag, boys. Chill out. I have been doing pretty well this year, dude. I'm not on Verna yet. But if I get a big enough plus money on Verna, I'm going to have to take a shot. Because just think about this, right? Verna Jandiroba, is she going to get submitted by Dern? I doubt it. Highly doubt it. I don't think Verna's going to go in there and just strike with Mackenzie Dern when the entire reason why she got to a title fight is because she's a good-ass fucking grappler. So go in there, grapple against Mackenzie Dern, keep top position, and you can win rounds. Just saying. Dern line is a trap. I'm fading her inside the distance. I don't know if she's going to get finished, but why the fuck was the main event Hernandez versus RDR yesterday then? It was supposed to be, dude. I bet Yusri because of you. I think you picked Bekoev, but you said Yusri was live. Yeah, I picked Bekoev like a little pussy because I'm too much of a bitch to pick Yusri. But I did say Bekoev is not that good, and I could see him losing to Yusri, and he got fucking worked. Saw Verna as the dog. Couldn't believe it. Should be a minus 150 favorite. Keep it on the down low, boys. Keep it on the down low. Keep it down low. By that logic, Marat should lose all his fights. I don't know what logic you're referring to. I think I'm pretty behind on chats. Sorry, boys. But I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. We got a hell of people in here. I'm pretty behind. I'm going to try to fire through some of these. Shout out to the women's parlay. Yeah, that was insane. Insane. I wonder what the odds would be if they were flipped. But I remember him saying that you could flip them. The problem was Manon Fiorot didn't get the decision. She got the fucking KO. Hit on Jordan sub and almost took Bruno Silva by sub because of the breakdown last night. Hit big on Croton finish and Yusri moneyline parlay. Attaboy. A guy in Wheezy's cord hit a Canadian cycle Zahabi. Ooh, that is pretty nice. Damn. That's a hell of a cycle right there. RDR was playing jiu-jitsu while Alan was working the MMA. That is true. Dan stopped the jazz fight as a fuck you to the crowd. Yeah, that was funny. But it was a good stoppage. Wait a sec. Dern is fighting Raul Rosas. Yeah. Chiwibis. It was a good no stoppage. Why are there not more refs like the NFL? Exactly, dude. Why isn't there not like a replay assistant ref on hand? Who wins, Barlow or Jamie Pickett? Oh, God. Don't make me say Barlow, bro. Don't make me say Barlow. They could sprinkle some work fights every now and then. I mean, it is Disney. All right. Did you peep the police investigating that weirdo in the crowd during Allen's walkout? Yeah, what the fuck was that about? Is that real? I saw it on Twitter, all over Twitter today. Apparently, some dude flashed his phone in front of the camera while Brendan Allen was making his walkout. And on his phone was a picture of what looked like a dude to be laying on the ground with like a bloody face. He looked distressed. And it looked like it could either be a dude that just got KO'd on the ground. It could be a guy that is being held hostage. But why would anybody put that in front of a camera? That's fucking weird. We'll see what that turns out to be. But I guess I don't know if that's true that the police are investigating it. But if they are, hold your horses, boys. We might see something brand new in the UFC world. Would you trust your unc or grandpa with your life or potential to make $50K in a fight is my point. These MFers can't use their email but make decisions on who intend to foul. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But they got experience doing it, and they're fucking terrible, honestly. I'm not going to defend them. Last person to throw in the towel was Derek Brunson. Yeah. I remember that one as well. Aspinall by sub is highly probable to send John Jones a little love letter. Well, Aspinall's got to do it quicker. He's got to do it quicker. Tom KO is minus 110. Sub is plus 240. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be tough to get subs at heavyweight, man. Don't forget that Vernon and Dirt fought already. They did 5 years ago. Does it matter? Who knows? John finished gone round 1. John also just got fucking hard over Hasbulla, so have fun with that. The new John wasn't going to fight Tom, so they did that to create even more aura and hype for their next big thing. If Francis didn't knock out Gon, then Tommy definitely ain't. They're very different strikers, buddy. Just bet Tom sub 1 at plus 650. Okay. Method and round prediction for Aspinall Gon. It's very hard for me to see in my mind Aspinall like knocking him out because we haven't really seen Gon. Like the only guy that I can think of that dropped Cyril Gon was fucking Tai Tuivasa, but that shit was extremely like fluky, like so fluky. It was one of the few punches that Tai Tuivasa landed in the fight. So it's hard for me to see Aspinall like sniping Cyril Gane with a shot and dropping him. But at the same time, it's hard for me to think Tom Aspinall goes in there and doesn't hurt Cyril Gane, because that's what Aspinall does to everybody. So I feel like Aspinall is probably going to go in there, strike with him for a little bit, maybe try to mix in a takedown. But the thing is, I don't know if he tries to go for the takedown and he doesn't get it right away, or if he expends too much energy looking for the takedown, I think that could fuck him a little bit. So I really don't know at this point. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Jones got shoved up wrestling with Little Aspula. It was disgusting, dude. Tom can't lose. I really don't want to hear John going, I really don't, dude. This was the guy to beat me like he did. 100%. Yeah, fuck me, dude. If Tom Aspinall loses, you ain't going to hear from me for like a few weeks, dude. They knew John Jones would not fight Tom, so they used that. Yeah. And middleweight is so messed up. It's terrible. Got your head with the under 2.5. I don't know what you're saying. Do you think RDR is a fraud, or was it all the weight cutting too often? It could be anything, man. Till whatever he says it is. Definitely something, though. Cheetah was not active enough as usual, 100%. Hamzat might 50-35 one of these middleweight. It's very true. Probably. Probably, when you drop in the DFS plays on the VIP, not anytime soon, bro. I'm going to wait until there's a couple spots open to where you can lock them in. Had 4 to 6 parlays with cash out values of $22 to $42 with Manon by decision as the last leg. That, yeah, I wouldn't cash out almost ever, but definitely wouldn't have cashed out for that. Extra disappointed Whitaker lost to RDR. Think I'm banned? You ain't banned. Hey, drive anytime touchdown, minus 400. I think it would have been like minus 1,000 back in the day. Great fighters have to quit, but when you haven't fought for the belt, you haven't fought for the belt. You don't deserve to be taken seriously. True. Oh, it'll smack. It'll smack. Had Santos' decision, sub, but oh my God, disgusting, dude. English market is saturated. Plus, I don't have recording equipment besides my laptop. Buddy, you can get recording equipment. You don't even need that much recording equipment. You could literally record on your phone. Sounds like an excuse. Sounds like if you really have the best takes ever, then you should be making content, dude. Like, why not? A whispering eye is a vagina. Huh. Not familiar with that one. Yo, what you think about Aspinall Mirzakhanov money line? I think it's a tough fight to call, but I do think Mirzakhanov's danger factor is a little bit bigger. I just wish he was more active, They are looking into big time. Just seen the photo, that's for sure. Oh God. Even more recent is Holland versus Wonderboy finished on the stool because he sucks and nobody should ever bet on him. That's true. He did, but he had a broken hand in that one. That was at least somewhat valid. Ty dropped him bad, though. He did. How come Francis didn't KO Gane? Francis isn't like... He doesn't have as good footwork as Tom Aspinall. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. Francis is like a plotty guy that uses his counters. Aspinall chips away at you, moves, pulls you in and out. Francis doesn't have the footwork that Tom does. But that's the reason why Gane was winning on the scorecards, because Gane has the footwork. So these are two heavyweights with really good footwork. So that's why they could clash, but I don't know. Watch the first 3 minutes of Gane versus Ngannou. Tom will find the shots. I will definitely go back and watch that one. I haven't done my tape study for that fight just yet because, we got all week, and I'm saving that one for a good day. Saving that one for a good day because that'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch that one. Hejai Verna fights the same as she did 5 years ago. No improvements at all in her boxing and same jits. Dern has improved. You can take Mackenzie Dern, man. You can take Mackenzie Dern all you want, but just remember when Amanda Hebos and Mackenzie Dern rematched earlier this year, and everyone was betting on Amanda Hebos because Amanda Hebos won the first fight, and everyone's like, "Well, what's going to happen differently in this fight?" Well, Amanda Hebos fucking lost, so. Just because the girl beat her 5 years ago doesn't mean that she's going to beat her again. And if you actually watch the fight, I rewatched it today. Verna didn't really offensively grapple much in that fight because I'm pretty sure she thought she could either outstrike Mackenzie Dern or she just wasn't confident in going to the ground with her. But when she did go to the ground with her, she was fine. She won the second round. Third round was close. It was a coin flip type of fight, in my opinion. But I do think there are a lot of improvements for Verna over the years. And Dern has improved a little bit as well. So there's some improvements. I think the style of the fight could just change a little bit. And that's why I think Verna at a plus money might be getting me some money. I don't know. After watching Dana White contenders this season, I love the new prospects who have patient pressuring, striking with educated defense against strikes and takedowns. The future of MMA is bright. It is very bright. You're going to see a lot of these younger 20 to 25-year-olds that are just fucking clean. Like, they're really, really good. I think, me and Lucrative James talked about this. I think maybe when he was on my show or maybe when I was on his show. But, we see like Joshua Van, super young, and he's going to fight for a title soon. Like every year, these fighters come into the UFC younger and younger, and they have more and more success. Because how is that going to look for the future? Because right now, the prime age for an MMA fighter seems to be when it's like 29 to 32, maybe 33, depending on the weight class. If we're talking like middle of the pack weight classes, 29 to 33. But maybe the prime years for a fighter in the next 5 years will be 25 to 29. It might turn out to be where these guys are so much better at a younger age, and they're so much more seasoned at a younger age that their athleticism, their durability is just better when they're at 25 to 29. And maybe they start to drop off a little bit earlier than they do now. But also, we're kind of seeing a lot of these older fighters being able to extend their careers into their late 30s and do all right. So it's interesting, man. I think the future for the MMA world is bright. But also, what the fuck was Bruno Silva doing with all that back knee, bro? USADA's gone, and we getting fighters with straight up honeycomb back knee. Like, this is bad stuff. Bruno Silva contacted Carlos Leal's nutritionist, said, get me whatever he's on, because I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. I can't lose this fight. I'm 35 years of age at the flyweight division. I can't lose this fight, otherwise I'm done. Give me all the sauce you got. I don't care if I'm going to show up to the fight with back knee. And he got it done. But that shit was wild. Maybe these old guys are just taking some enhancements, but they are definitely having a good year without USADA. The first year without USADA, and it seems like all these older fighters are having a lot of success. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Will I be in Vegas for 323 weekend? I don't know yet. With the way middleweight is going, Usman says he's going to get the welterweight belt, move up and challenge for the middleweight belt. Yeah, it really doesn't seem that far-fetched. Thoughts on Jourdain's sub? Dude's got the nastiest fucking guillotine in the game right now, honestly. It's fucking disgusting. It's like, once he gets you in it, like, you're kind of fucked. Like, there's no getting out of it. Because he has his full arm under your neck. It's not like hands clasp around the neck. It's the full fucking arm. Dug deep in there. Like he's wrenching that shit. It's nasty, dude. It might be the best in the game. RDR gassed halfway through. I get it. Fight times a year. Training camp. Yeah. Endocrine system is shot. Probably is. Gana's one of the best feet moving at heavyweight. It won't be as easy for Aspinall to get the KO. He might try to wrestle early on. Agreed. But I have Android, man, and I tried. Bro. Just try more. Try more. You would have thought Bekoyev would have done better having KO'd many Tom Aspinall in the first round before. Yeah. Oh, God. What a throwback. Many Tom Aspinall. In due time. Hey, there you go. Get it done. Get it done, bro. Ruined my Saturday night. When I was brushing my teeth, I was bummed. When I was in the shower, I was bummed. When I was about to go to bed, I was bummed. That's what a real MMA fan goes through, you know. Maybe not on a week-to-week basis, but, you know, at least once a month. That's how you're going to feel. Had a ton on Dern, bro. If Volkov can defend takedowns pretty well, then betting on an OV as an underdog in that part of the world looks real nice. I agree. Thoughts on Volter Walker's new opponent? Feels like it's a super easy fight for him. It does seem like it should be an easy fight, but you know, there's a way he fucks it up. I'll just say that. Can't believe you're going to bet on SM1? Someone who can't see straight. I have been betting on her, bro. She's been making me coin. How long have you been betting on MMA? How long did it take you before you became profitable? Been betting on MMA since I was 20 years old. And it probably took me 3 years before I actually made profit. Yo, Hayden, do you have a Discord that I could join, bro? Sometimes I have some picks for you to look into. You can join the Homo Fight Discord for free. You can join the Homo Fight Discord for free. And then if you want access to the premium version, that's where I'm more active, but you join the Homo Fight Discord. Flyweight gonna be too good soon. There are some real good flyweights coming in. So White House card is going to be real. If so, when? June, brother. Bet on AQ as an underdog in a lot of parlays just because I found out he trains with Brandon Olivas, who you unintentionally introduced me to on your betting show like Tuesday and Wednesdays ago. Yeah, he does. Trains with Mr. Olivas. And AQ's not bad, dude. AQ's all right. Has Verna ever been to champ rounds? No, I don't think so. That is my worry. I think she could gas. Actually, no, she has. She's been in a 5-rounder before on regionals, but not in the UFC. Imagine if Umar loses. That would be hilarious, bro. What's not to like about the Riddler? The Diddler got diddled last night. Gassed out, threw in the towel. All right, boys, I'm going to hop out of here. Appreciate y'all for joining. We got a big week this Saturday with UFC 321. Can't wait. Big main card, 2 title fights. Tommy Aspinall, a lot of pressure on him. We'll see if he comes through. We got a lot lined up this week for the content. All right, we got the official picks video coming to you on Wednesday. Going to do a live stream betting breakdown this week as well. We got the DFS plays for you. I think I'm going to do a little additional thing for the pay-per-view. 1 pick, DFS pick for every single fight on the card. Should be a fun time. And then Friday, we got long shots only. That's for YouTube. Stay tuned to all the social medias for the short form content as well. Gonna lock in some bets here real soon. Got some good spots. I'm feeling pretty good about it. But appreciate y'all for joining. Until next time, hey, y'all picks.